Hey guys, welcome back to Simply a Better You. If you're new here, my name is Shanine, and I like to hop on here every once in a while and talk about easy ways to save money, to get out of debt, and of course, there's always just mom life. And sharing my life with you guys is something that is different for me, but I really want to inspire and encourage other moms to understand and encourage them that it is absolutely okay to not know, to not have the answer for everything, and of course to be okay with stumbling through life, making mistakes, getting messy, and knowing that you are not a failure. You're only a failure if you don't get back up and try again. So I love to hop on here on vlog days and share with you on what we're doing just in our day-to-day life. And I call this sharing my journey because each and every one of us are on a journey, and that journey is so very, very precious because we all play a very important part in this world, in the creation that we live in. So today, guys, we as a family are working out in our backyard. We are transforming the backyard from what was grass to a garden. So we've put in fruit trees, we have our garden beds going in. My fiance has run to grab some more mulch because you can't have enough mulch, and some garden soil, and we are going to be filling in our last two garden beds and spreading some more mulch today, trying to get our tomato plants in because they are long overdue. I have overwaited. We also have a storm that is rolling in here in the next week, and outside right now it's a little loud, so I'll kind of voice over and talk about what I'm doing as I'm going through the motions. They are building a house next door, which is what is motivating us to move out of the suburbs and start to look for property on some land. We want to really expand our garden. We really enjoy it. We enjoy being outside. We enjoy the gardening. We enjoy the rewards of what's coming out of the garden, even if it's just 5 tomatoes. So we are just learning. This is something that we have done in the past in Ohio, but we are in Florida and I am in growing zone 9B. This is very, very different. So while most of you are wrapping up your gardens and your fall harvest and you're going into winter, we are actually going into a second growing season because it doesn't get cold here until like January, March. And it does not usually freeze, though last year we did get a freeze and it took out some of our tropical fruit trees. But what I am planting other than my tomatoes, so like my cabbage, my kale and things like that, those are frost hardy. So a frost here is not like a frost that you would get further up north. So it is a little different, and it's a learning curve. We're not used to this. This will be the first time that we're planting in what we would call fall going into winter. It's very strange for us. So as we're learning, I want to share that stuff with you guys, and you can kind of watch our mistakes and learn from what you should and shouldn't do. So if you're one of those people that are scared to make mistakes, I'm not. You can learn from my mistake. I'll be happy to walk through the mistake and explain it to you. I will definitely take suggestions. So if you happen to be watching this and you're a master gardener, please comment below and tell me what I should be doing. Again, I am in growing zone 9B. I am in Florida. I am in a tropical growing environment. It is very hot and humid here. Our high today is going to be 85. So let's get outside here and show you guys what we are doing. And I'll pop in here and there. Just excuse the noise from them building next door. There'll be a lot of hammering and sawing noise. Go.
I'm the little helper.
Okay guys, these are my cabbages, or what's left of them. They're hanging in there.
My tomato plants are, as you can see, are well overdue to be planted. I've got leaf miners on them, which I need to take care of. So I'll have to break out the soapy water and get those sprayed down. Hopefully I can suffocate them. They're even on my cucumbers. But I also noticed on my cucumbers, which is something that is always on my cucumbers and my squash, they seem to get into everything, are those little green caterpillars. I think they're called loppers. You can see the tiny ones right here. Um, I usually go through and just pick these off and kill them. You can put them in a jar of soapy water. You can squish them by hand, but BT also really helps with this. They eat your leaves, they burrow into the vines, they even burrow into the fruit, and they can decimate a plant pretty fast. So I have to stay up on these, and I come out and check my plants quite often. But usually when you see these little black speckles, this is caterpillar poop, and that's how I know I have them. That's also how I find my hornworms on my tomatoes. They leave little piles of poop behind. There's your insect information for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cabbages in the ground. Um, I'm hoping that they're going to be okay. We do have the storms that are coming in, and I'm hoping that my beds don't get flooded. We're expecting anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of rain, so I am going to go ahead and plant these. I'm going to put some dried pine needles over the top of them to help hold some moisture into the ground because, Florida, it's pretty hot here, and I water twice a day because everything dries out so incredibly fast. And I'm going to hope for the best here. I really hope that these guys make it. If not, I'll plant some more. So hey guys, I wanted to quickly show you how easy it is to container garden. And if you've heard of this topic, it's where you can actually garden in just about any container. And I will put a link to the post below that I have at my blog, simplyabetteringyou.com, that kind of goes over what container gardening is and how easy it is to do. So if you live in the suburbs, or maybe an apartment, an HOA or something like that, where you can't actually plant or put in flower beds or gardening beds in your yard, or you just have very small amount of space, container gardening is a great way to work around that. And you can do it in felt bags, you can do it in plastic containers, you can get the 5-gallon containers from like Home Depot and Lowe's. I have a green stalk, and I even have a kids pool. It's a plastic pool that we have planted sweet potatoes in. That was our very first attempt at container gardening. Of course, we didn't keep up with it, but those sweet potatoes have come back every year. I'm totally blown away that that even occurred. I was not aware of what sweet potatoes could do, but it definitely gave me hope that container gardening is most definitely a possibility. So let me show you my green stock and some other containers that I have out here that we've been growing in, and we'll kind of walk through how easy it is to get this set up. So this is my green stock. I'll put a link below to their website. I'm not affiliated with them. This is just something that I use, and I know that it works well, at least for me. It's a stackable tower. You water it from the top, and the water drips all the way through a watering system and waters each one of these pockets. And you can grow anything in here, from tomatoes to green beans, squash, spinach, lettuce, flowers. The sky's the limit. If you are on their website, you'll be able to look at some other things that you can attach to it to help with staking, or holding up more viney plants or taller plants. They also have a rollable
rollable base that goes under it so you can move it around easily, and you can even get the one that just kind of sits on a stand. But I'm actually going to pull mine apart, show you how I fill it, put it back together, get my seeds in it, and we'll actually be moving it out onto the grass because it's going to need a lot more sunlight for this coming winter. So this particular green stock is their 5-tier, and you really can plant just about anything in here. This is the water reservoir where you fill it up. There's a little line inside. You can just fill it up with water, and it runs through each one of these little pockets. I picked up 2.5 bags of organic garden soil, 2 cubic feet per bag. So it does take quite a bit of dirt, and you want to fill it up all the way to the edge because as you water this, the dirt is going to settle down in it. And you can see the little gray trays at the top. That helps distribute the water into the pockets. So I'm kind of loosening up the dirt, and I'm going to add some more of my garden soil on top of it. Now this is like a potting soil. It's really loose, and that's what you want for these. You can reuse the dirt, but understand that generally after about 2 months, there isn't a whole lot of nutrition or nutrients in this dirt anymore. So you either need to top dress it with some compost on top. You need to hit it with some fertilizer and keep feeding your plants, otherwise they will not do well. So I'm going to get these all topped off and filled up. My fertilizer is coming in the mail. I get mine through Amazon. I just order it in bulk quantities, and I'll put a link in the description below for that. I'll also add a link for this particular garden soil. I have used the Kellogg's Organic and also the Jungle Growth. I really like the Jungle Growth, but I can't always find it, so this is like my secondary option. And again, they are 2 cubic feet per bag. They generally run me here in Florida about $8 to $9 a bag. So these are felt bags that I found on Amazon. I'll link a link below in the description. And then these buckets we just picked up at Home Depot. And you can use things like that. You just want to make sure that there are drainage holes in them so that you have the water draining out and not sitting in and filling up. There are also these green containers which are used for flowers. We put herbs in them, so I've got some oregano in there as well as some mint. The mint I have cut back and it will grow back. We're on year number 4, and the oregano and the mint have continuously grown back. They're self-seeding. Mint is kind of invasive and will take over if you don't keep it in a container. So when you saw me working on my green stock here, there is 2 plants that I left, and the one here at the bottom is mint. This is a chocolate mint, and I have cut it back, and there's a little bit left, and it is so warm it just keeps going to seed. It will spread across the whole bottom layer of that particular tier. And then I left one of my flowers up there because it has a bloom on it. But if you look out here in my garden bed, right there, that is a pineapple mint, and it was big and bushy, but it has died back because of the heat, and it is also starting to flower and seed and grow back, and it'll fill up that entire container. But we keep them in containers because they will take over any area any piece of dirt that you allow it to. So I wouldn't be surprised here in the next year if there is some mint that grows just on the ground below the container. So I am going to go ahead and plant my spinach. I'll show you what we picked up. we picked up some spinach, and this particular type, because it grows well in the heat, it's drought resistant, so this is the place for it. Good Florida spinach. We are going to try these. I'm not sure if these are going to grow. These are older seeds, but hey, we won't know unless we put it in the dirt, and I would rather give it a chance to actually grow than pitch it in the trash. And then this is some seeds that we got from our gardening club that we joined here in the area. This is it's a Chinese spinach, or they're saying a mustard spinach, and it grows well here in our climate. So we're going to try to plant these. They're saying they are good to eat raw. You can saute them or pickle them, which is kind of interesting. I've never thought to pickle spinach, but we're going to see how it looks, how it tastes. I've never tried it before, but we're going to try to grow these. Hey guys, we are in day 2. Yesterday was a long day. I am definitely sunburnt, but we got the mulch moved and laid out for the garden beds that we have put in. And we are going to continue the mulch across the yard and around our pineapples, and then we're going to put some Mexican heather in, which is kind of a ground cover. And we got the cabbage planted yesterday, and I think I lost one. They did shock a little bit, but they're bouncing back. But we got our cabbage planted, and today I am going to plant tomatoes, and we're going to get the porch cleaned off, and anything that's loose we're going to store in the garage because, hey, we live in Florida, so the occasional hurricane rolls through. I am on the opposite coast, so, pray for everybody that is in the path of the storm that is coming and keep them in your thoughts. But we are on the other side of Florida, so we just may get some heavy wind and some heavy rain. But, if anybody that is in a flood zone, which we are not, please keep them in your thoughts and your prayers that everybody stays safe. So, guys, I invite you today to join me on my backyard garden adventure. We're going to get some tomatoes planted.
Alright guys, we got the tomatoes in, the cabbages in. I've got one more cucumber to plant. I think we're done with moving mulch. It keeps raining on and off again, so I have to keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So we're going to clear the porch off in preparation for the storm that's coming in, and kind of get everything put in the garage, make sure everything is tied down. We've got to do some innovative figuring on how we're going to stake up the tomatoes. So we're thinking we have an idea there. We've got some bamboo that I picked up from my uncle's house, and we think we're going to use that to stake the tomatoes. Yeah, sweetie. Okay, so we'll get that done. We are going to pull down the shade cloth that's over the patio so that doesn't get blown away or get torn up, and just kind of, we're going to prepare for the worst as far as winds and rain and hope for the best. So, you know, planting everything, I'm going to hope that everything doesn't flood and that I lose it all, but if I do, then I'll just replant. You know, you can't stop living life just because the unexpected could happen. So we're going to get everything done, get it pulled together, and guys, thank you for hanging out with us this weekend. We are going to enjoy the rest of our Sunday, and I hope you guys do as well. So as always guys, I love you and I bless you on your journeys.